Welcome to episode 5 of the Justin Johnston Show. I'm Justin Johnston. I'm a commercial real estate broker. I've been in the business for 28 years. Buy, sell, lease, commercial real estate. Mostly industrial and office. And this is Blake Moore. He's our production guy to make and manager of all this process of bringing this to you every week and coming up with content. Today we are going to be talking about the opportunities of 2023. We think that 2023 is going to be a great year for people that want to seek for those opportunities that are there. We think there's going to be a lot of them, not just in the real estate, but in maybe just a focus of mindset. There's a lot of changes out there, a lot of opportunity, and so we're going to hit some of those points today.
Yeah. To start off, I was looking at this article the other day. Just came out a few days ago, and it's from CNBC, and it was talking about the top 10 places to buy real estate right now. And so I wanted to get your thoughts on this as the real estate expert of the two of us. Do you think these match what CNBC is saying? So the number 10 on the list is Knoxville, Tennessee. Is that one you've been hearing about at all?
Tennessee.
Just in general?
Yeah, Tennessee, I've heard a lot. Of course, Nashville, but Knoxville, there's a lot of people, companies that want to be located there. So I think there is going to be a lot of opportunities there. Yeah.
And then next was San Antonio and New Braunfels, Texas.
Texas.
Yeah. So you think because Texas has had a huge growth over the past few years, do you think it's going to stay that way in the commercial and maybe the residential side?
I think so. I think it's going to be Texas. Really these areas in the marketplace where there is opportunity, where people are embracing opportunity and not trying to. There's some gloom and doom, and I think it's in some areas that have maybe been poorly managed from lots of areas, both crime, fiscal policies of states and areas in Tennessee, Utah, Texas, Idaho, Montana, Arizona. There's a lot of the states in the Southeast are, I think, going to be targets. But I'm intrigued, not knowing for sure what the other markets you were saying on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So next we got Jacksonville, Florida. Is that Florida still going to be hot this year, you think?
I think so.
And then we got Huntsville, Alabama. Is that one you've heard?
I've not heard a lot of discussion about that, but it does fit what I just said, being in the Southeast and opportunities.
Yeah, it says Alabama's most populous city is the most affordable area for homes among the list. Just under 30% of renters can afford a typical home with a 10% down payment, which is almost twice the national average. Growing job opportunities and low cost of living will continue to attract even more movers in 2023.
Did they identify any employers that are locating there?
It did, that was all it said for Alabama. But it did say the median home price was $327,000. So that's low compared to Florida was $398. Texas was $342. Tennessee was $331. So, it is lower than those other ones. So maybe that's why it's catching up maybe on the home prices since they're still pretty low down there. But number 6, we have Charleston, North Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston and North Charleston, is that what it said?
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity in that area. All the historic district, the port, and it's been a place that I've wanted to locate. If Delta ever figures out, probably get a straight shot into there. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's one of their hubs. But every time I go to look at that, it's difficult to fly, maybe from Salt Lake direct to Charleston, but I would love to have a place in Charleston.
Yeah, interesting. Now we got another one, South Carolina, which we just went over, so we can skip that one. And then we got Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, Arkansas, and Missouri. So I'm guessing those are cities in both Arkansas and Missouri?
It's a good question. I don't know that as well, though I do have to correct you. Everybody I've known ever from Missouri says it's pronounced Missouri.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's Missouri.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
It's Missouri?
Missouri. That's what they say.
Huh.
From Missouri,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So all the people in Missouri that I know that are, in fact, I'm reading a book on Harry Truman, the president, and of course Jacksonville, kind of out there where there's was some conflict with some Mormons in the earlier days, and they were talking about kind of some of the history there. Kind of interesting, very interesting, beautiful, beautiful place for farming and lots of opportunities. I don't know if that wouldn't necessarily be where the border is. That right? They are on the border right there.
I think so. Yeah.
Where's that show? I know I'm probably mixing up some things on that part, but it's oh geez,
I'm not sure.
It's a criminal. It's Jason Bates.
Oh.
What's the name of that?
I don't know. We'll put it up on the screen or something. I'll do some research when I'm editing.
Okay,
and figure it out.
You do that. Let's see. Oh geez, what is that? He starts laundering money for him, and anyway, they killed. It was a Netflix show that they killed the
I can't
the
think
pandemic
of
and
it.
stuff. Anyway, it's a very but it is on the border there with
Yeah.
Missouri and
Missouri.
Arkansas.
Interesting. Number 3.
Ozark.
What was
Ozark,
it?
sorry.
Ozark.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right. You guys will have
You got some
already
editing.
known
You're
that.
gonna have to I'll shut up and let you
No,
know
it's
that.
all good. We got 3 Dallas Fort Worth. That makes sense. We've already talked about a lot of Texas, so we can just move on.
Yeah, they're really. It's very interesting. I'll say Texas. You say Tennessee as well. When you do discuss all the things that are happening, it's interesting because the people want to move to Texas, and the companies are wanting to move to both those states. I think they're very pro-business, allow companies to do what they want to do, need to do, and they've already got a lot of people that are wanting to move there already. So it's very, very interesting to watch that happen, to where there is this shift to markets that have already been growing very well for the last 15, 20 years, kind of a slow growth that's not making all this. But I think with all the crime in different areas around the country, people are just saying, hey, where can we have what we viewed as our quality of life with lots of employment opportunities, and some of them are still raising families. Some of them are saying, hey, where can we go? We're empty nesters, but we're still working. I think that is where the majority of these people are looking for, and it's very interesting to see that. And I would predict all the markets you just said, for everything that I am reading right now and hearing from the different markets, those are primed to be strong and good for 2023.
Yeah. Everything I've been reading says the same. Number 2, we have Raleigh, or is it Raleigh or Raleigh?
Raleigh,
North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the median home price is actually the most expensive on this entire list so far. $460,000 median home price. But yeah, it says fast-growing tech hub with low unemployment. Raleigh has seen home prices increase by almost 30% since 2020. So when something happens like that, where it's increased by 30% already, does that mean, I feel like that might mean it's not the best buy right now because it's already shot up so much. Do they really think over the next few years it's going to go up another 30%?
Were they predicting 30%?
They
growth?
said it's already been up 30%, so I don't know why they would have it on the list if it wasn't going to go up that much more over the next few years.
Well, sometimes these articles in CNBC, they take a lot of things into account.
Yeah.
I think what's the number 1 on that list?
Number 1,
Raleigh, Durham.
This one, it says Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Well, that's no surprise there too. Atlanta, in my career of the last 28 years, has just continued to grow. I don't know all of the percentages and growth. It's interesting they come out number 1. I think what this article reflects, as much as anything, is everything we've already kind of said, is that where is a safe bet where there's growth?
Yeah.
And so what's happened the last 25 years, or maybe 28 years, if I looked at all these cities, Raleigh, Charleston, some of these cities were kind of languishing there, but over time they've just grown, right?
Yeah.
So they've had natural growth, people that are staying there because they want to be there, right?
Yeah.
And what we've seen in the last 24, 36 months coming now is that there's a flight from some of these other areas. And I think that's what's driving this in some of these areas. They're not all located in Salt Lake City. So some of these lists we've seen, Salt Lake's been on that, Boise, Phoenix, all the Mountain West, even Colorado to some degree, Denver, and Denver's continued to grow. I know there's some things that have stagnated a little bit there, but Bozeman, Helena, Billings, I mean, just, some of these cities aren't real large, pretty good size. I mean, they've already got the quantifiable growth. They've got all the national tenants, different employers that are there, and now they're getting an influx of these cities with large millions of people. They're going, I think what I've seen, Georgia, Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina, but also Texas, right? I mean, and Tennessee, that's where people are moving to, including the Intermountain region. But those are places, I mean, there's so much opportunity there. I think that's it. And Atlanta, like I said, I've got good friends in Atlanta. We've exchanged business for the last 25 years, and that market just keeps growing. And of course, that does have a major Delta hub there from the East Coast, and easily to fly in and out of there. But I don't know, they've been able to reposition that market and the others that we've all referenced to, Huntsville, Alabama. A little bit of not a surprise to me, but one that I've not necessarily heard a lot about, but it doesn't surprise me. So very interesting that is Atlanta's at the top of the list, and I think that's it. The quantifiable. What did it say? The average median house price in Atlanta?
Yeah. Let me pull it up again.
I think it might be more than North Carolina.
Atlanta, it said 371.
Oh, okay.
So that's interesting.
It does have a pretty good. That's a large metro there, and they've got a lot of. They've got a lot of mixed office, industrial.
Yeah, it says
quite an
that
amazing market.
Some of the major tech companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Visa just opened up Atlanta offices in the past couple of years. So that's probably, that's similar to here too. Yeah. A lot of.
I would say so. Atlanta is obviously much more significant market, but I would say they're very similar markets. Seems a tenant mix, type of people, quite a family-oriented a city, Atlanta, a lot of opportunity, growth. They've had the growing pains, just like we have here, but I would say if there are two similar markets, I would say Salt Lake City and Atlanta mirror each other in the type of job opportunities, growth, family size, things like that are very...
That's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. So outside of real estate, maybe you can include some of these markets or just the market in general, but where do you see opportunities to make money just in regards to business, different job openings maybe that are going to be needed in 2023, and other ways to make money, maybe outside of real estate, since we just went over some of the top cities to buy in, but what are some opportunities you see outside of that?
So I think this is common sense, at least to me when I see this. So I see there's a divide out there a little bit, right? Who's laying off people right now, which is very interesting to me, because as soon as the interest rates started to come up, before the market had even responded, Google, Hewlett-Packard, half the tech companies out there lay off 10,000, 12,000, 20,000 people, right? Yeah. They're, I think, feeling like they've had their run, and so that to me is a gut, because I'm just watching what they're doing, or they're preparing for something that maybe could be down, and I don't want to just blow over the interest rate hike that's happened. I think that does impact business. I mean, it's going to impact a lot. So where I'm going with that, where the opportunities are, one that we've discussed quite a bit recently is that AI. Yeah. I think it's a field that is so massive right now, and on the surface, that appears that it would be, AI is technology, it's a tech company thing, right? Yeah. I think that what is going to happen And some of the things that I've read and followed on that is that there is an implementation. We don't have, if you look to where Tesla's at with their autonomous driving,
Yeah.
right?
Self-driving.
Self-driving, I mean, they've got it, they've made advancements. So here's this technology's been here, right? That anybody could have helped build or innovate, right? Well, all the car companies are making electric vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's interesting to watch how this market has evolved. Tesla, I've been in enough of them.
Yeah.
You know, I would have never bought a Tesla before, right? Just because I was looking at it as an electric vehicle. Yeah. I just travel too much. I would be very worried about the battery aspect of it, right? And being stranded somewhere. Now I realize, I mean, it's a technology company. They're working on AI, robots, self-driving, right? I mean, it's all folded into that. So everybody's trying to compete. Oh, we're coming out Mercedes, and you know, we've got a better electric EV, as everybody pronounces it. But I think so. There's that, right? So there's huge opportunity that's already been there, and there's a perception of what it is, and then there's the people that are actually innovating it, right? Well, ChatGPT is one facet. Is it Boston Dynamics? Boston Dynamics that has the robot Boston. Anyway, the ones you see, the robots just doing amazing things. They made advancements there. It's not just that, right? It's the implementation of these things, right? Yeah. I think there's a huge unknown fields within there of going out and setting up AI, right? Maybe not even the experts in AI, but being able to understand how companies transition and how to get that into. Now, you and I've talked about this. We want to be on the cutting edge of using AI in real estate. We don't want to be replaced, but that's not the real main reason. We want to enhance what we're doing and give the best service. So I think that's a huge field. Shift into other tangible fields that we're talking about, so it's not all, hey, it could be this stuff and artificial. There's a growing need for technical, hands-on people that can get things done, right? So some of the traditional plays on that: heating, HVAC, plumbing, electrical engineering, electrical engineers, but also just electricians that can actually, the better ones that can actually wire a little more sophisticated systems, right? Our houses are a lot more autonomous. I mean, it's, thermostats that regulate, I think there's been a lot of people that haven't taken advantage of that. I've even seen in some of the newer homes that are built where they don't wire it for those, types of features that are already there in the marketplace. It's kind of interesting. It's like, So I think there's going to be remodels. There's going to be issues that are going on a daily basis out there. So I see a lot of trades that actually could, that are already pretty strong, but people that are looking to innovate with companies inside those trade areas. Off the top of my head, I'm pulling a blank as to some other examples, but there's a long list of things that we've talked about in the past that is just like, wow, it's really great opportunity, because a lot of the other things that are like financials, I would not necessarily want to be on the financial side unless you really understood markets, equities and companies, things like that, because I think this AI is really going to innovate there and eliminate a lot of people that are just guessworking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Trading in the market with other people's money, things like that, there's a better science to it. We know that. And even if you just did like Warren Buffett, the parent of other brokers that we represent, Berkshire Hathaway, I mean, they buy equities in companies. My Berkshire Hathaway B shares follow as close to the market. They're doing great right now. They always have for whatever. So I think there's a lot of things that are going to be replaced there. But as far as other opportunities, I see trades altogether, trades that have been maybe even forgotten, or viewed as, man, you want to stay away from there. So here's where I say this: you have maybe what was like a dirtier way to make money or not as educated. You can have some really hands-on people that are good with their hands, their minds. They're building things. They're tweaking things. They're on job sites. It's got to be done right. you don't want to mix up some of these issues, and obviously plumbing, HVAC, very, very costly systems. They become a lot more sophisticated. They're not just the standard that you put in, and so you got to understand the equipment, how it works. Two very simple things, but I would say that entire realm. How do you take AI, implement it into all these other fields that are going to make life easier? I think automated companies that can revolutionize the fast food industries. There's food and other service industries that are, I think, ripe. I think we're going to find entire new industries that people are going to make a lot of money in, and it's going to require not just the software, but the technical know-how, the hands-on people to get it done.
Yeah.
So
I
let your imagination go on that. I'm pulling a little bit of a blank, but I can't outguess what it's going to be. I think that's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah.
Take that one step further for some of the things we've talked about. I would say it's automated car washes, laundry facilities in some of these buildings and places that would be maybe converted to where not everybody has theirs, but they could be used a lot more efficiently, right? And so it'll be instead of going in there, you got the coin thing on the wall, you're trading. I think we're going to see some revolution there where it really is all shifted to Apple Pay, more efficient equipment and things like that you can maybe even put it in there, walk away, from your clothes and having that done. It's going to wash it, it's going to dry it, it's going to be locked. Nobody can do it. You come up with your phone, you're going to be able to unlock it there, so you can move and do things. I've heard so many things in that whole realm. If you take that and even who would have thought you'd be ordering stuff from Home Depot and then picking it up at a locker that's already prepaid, and you're just getting it. You're not even interacting with anybody. I think we are really just scratching the surface of all of those interfaces.
Well, and even like how you could just order equipment on DoorDash or through Walmart, the app, and things like that. I mean, it's all going towards automation, and I think that one of the biggest opportunities is figuring out a way to be a part of all of that automation, whether that's software engineer is probably still going to be one of the most sought after jobs in 2023. Even I think building a way to automate content, because we know there's so much content being flooded into these social media outlets that if someone could make an AI where you could just give it a video and it could edit it exactly how you would want it, or chop it up into stuff that it knows the algorithm is going to like, right? That's a huge opportunity. If someone made that, that's like billions of dollars right there.
It's a huge industry, and let me just tell you, because we have not talked about this, with my chat GPT, I have ran multiple scenarios, like what would be the best way that we could reach the greatest audience, right? Yeah. Well, it keeps coming up with different things. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good thing. But there's not a program that helps you edit it and put it in a format, right? Mm-hmm. That I'm aware of, right? Yeah. I look at a lot of videos out there. It's not there. Right? It's still quite hands-on. Some of that could definitely be automated to where you're focusing on the actual content to provide the very best content, right? Yeah. In a short format. So that's the other part that we've recognized too. There's long format. The stuff that we're doing today, going into great detail. If you want to listen to the end of this video, subscribe, like, and keep coming back, because we are discussing that stuff. We follow other people that do that. Yeah. We want to see the full thing. There's also that whole other segment that's happened. YouTube's bought off on it. Shorts. Yeah. People, we are a attention span of about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And I think a lot of that is, sometimes we are negative. It's a very negative thing that we say with that. But then I step back from it sometimes like, why are we doing that? Okay, we're being conditioned to do that. But we only have a minute or two sometimes between. Yeah. We show up to a doctor's office.
You just want to scroll through real quick.
You're scrolling through. You're looking at your stuff. I've got my earpiece in. I've always got that on. A lot of, and I'm listening to that. I'm listening to voice messages. I'm updating things. But oh, this is interesting. I'm subscribing to this person because they have some really good ideas, right? In every field you can think of, right? Some of them some decorating, some of it say, I mean, how many more things do I need to see how you can salt up a piece of beef and then cook it in the right oil at this temperature? Everybody knows I can barbecue a little bit, but I'm probably never going to implement that. I'd like for me to have my refrigerator and robot put it in the thing right as I'm coming home, which my wife does too, but so she can't even outguess what I'm doing that. The point is, right, short format has a huge opportunity to download this, most information in a short time period. And people that can figure out that and then implement that, right?
Exactly.
Into all these other facets we're talking about. It's a very exciting time. I think the things that we bitch and complain about because of where this is at, it's like everybody's got their head in their phone and,
We'll take advantage of it.
we'll take advantage of it, do it, and then also maybe, if you can, we all want more time to go do the things we enjoy. Hopefully that's not spending more time in front of our phones. I want to spend more time outside, right? It's a cold day. I was able to walk just down out on the street, go grab, I thought, man, it's a nice day, right? I need to get more time out there. Well, it's late at night. We're trying to get this shot. But in the day, we're all trying to save time, to maximize the time, whatever we want to do. For me, that's spending more time with my family and being outdoors. I've got to get the rest of my family wanting to do that too, if that's what I'm going to do. But at the end of the day, right, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
It's how, I think that is what we're moving into. It's not just the tech sector. It's skilled people. And I don't want to beat this, into the ground, but I really think if people that can use their imagination a little bit and see where that niche is at, and they've got hands-on technical skills and they can think through and solve problems, right? Using now, which maybe their strength has not been the software, the technology in the back, where they can actually input, hey, this is what I wanted to do, and it can design it, write the code, do all those types of things. I think people that have just spent their time focused on code, technology, back-end stuff, I think they're the ones that are going to be behind the ball. The 8 ball. They're going to be like, man, how do I transition? I don't know how to do any of this stuff, right? And these guys that, like, hey, I don't want to go and have $1 million debt to get a degree that's marginal from an Ivy League school that now that they're not even requiring ACT, SAT scores, it's asinine where we're at there. But I think as far as somebody that wants to be aggressive, makes money, huge. Use your innovative thoughts and ideas and your imagination on what the heck you can do, and I think there's going to be huge rewards. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what we're talking about, please hit the subscribe button and like what we're doing, and give us any other feedback that you think we can do to improve. We're always looking for that. Thank you very much.